Alright, and welcome back. This is the second one we're gonna do. This one's gonna delay a lot longer. We'll do 15-minute one, which reminds me. I'll start my
Stanley
timer.
just sat around twiddling his thumbs.
This is what I heard.
Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
I have no idea where it is, so I'm gonna keep beginning. Oh, right here. 2845.
2845.
Thank you.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
I love the sceneries of this, like the lighting and everything. Just makes everything so, like, I don't know, easy, I guess. Whoa. The graphics are a lot better than what it was back in 2011 for the Half-Life 2 mod, if I'm not mistaken. That's when they did it. Graphics are 10 times better. I have to admit. But, you know, I got 2 years to make something. Of course it's going to be better. 10 times better. And the loading screen again. My frame rates drop with the loading screen. Oh, okay, it's back up again. It's like at 2-1.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job.
Yeah.
Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
I'm not gonna try to talk with the narrator. I'll let him listen so you guys can listen to what he's saying. Lots of stuff is just funny. But
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Yeah, he's just funny. Oh, escape. I don't think I can do that. I'm gonna follow the narrator this time. Maybe I'll go back all the time not do what he says. Oh, okay.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Oh. Oh, okay. I guess I keep going. Gigantic. This is so cool though. I love it. The hell? So what do I do here? Oh, another button.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Wow. Imagine having a boss like that. That watches everything you do. That'd be crazy.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible
427,
to
right?
believe it couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Yeah.
No.
Whoa.
He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
I think you're controlling me right now, Mr. Narrator.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Oh, 5. Oh, it's like the 8 button again. It's like the 8 button again. They said they weren't gonna put the 8 button. They put a 5 button up there. We're gonna just keep pushing and see what happens.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Off. Done. What? I didn't do it. What? Wait.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes.
Oh.
He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened,
there we go.
Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone?
Yeah.
How had he been freed from the machine's grasp?
Yeah.
What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he
look at that.
realized none of this mattered to him.
How
For
awesome
it was
that
not
actually
knowledge
is.
or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
The graphics are...
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his
talk
skin,
with this narrator. He
the
keeps talking
feeling
from
of
me.
liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was
This
exactly
scenery
the
is just
way,
beautiful, though.
right now,
I'll say that.
that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Huh. I like the narrator. The narrator is probably the best part. Achievement unlocked. Beat the game. Bull crap. I'm gonna say that. I did not beat the game. They put if you beat the game just like that, they put more into the demo than they put in the actual game, which would be hilarious if they did that. The game since we got loading screen, I could actually talk during the loading screen, which would be nice because the narrator talks every other time. But it actually looks very beautiful, even though the graphics aren't that good. It's still stunning with the visuals and everything. Why am I back here? Wait. What? Why am I back? What? 427?
All of his co-workers were gone.
What?
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
What? Look, is it gonna repeat? Hold on. Let's go. This is weird.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay. I'm gonna do the same thing over again?
Yet there was not a single person here
Okay,
either.
let's read this.
Feeling a wave of disbelief,
Your unbelievable,
Stanley
amazing work
decided
all
to go
the
up to his
time,
boss's
every day, no
office,
special
hoping he
information.
might find an answer there.
How to solve a dispute with a coworker. Taking up passive-aggressive on other coworkers, resent coworkers for not supporting you, let it ball up inside. Unless slides to assure employees that everything is okay. Make sure your slide has a slick blue graphic on the header and throw some text. Everyone is unique. You most of all. Yeah, damn right I'm unique. Next slide. Come on. Thank you. Number of slides on the slide. Charts and slides.
Stanley just stood there doing nothing at all.
I am
He
doing
seems to
something.
think I have nothing better to do with my time than to sit around and describe every fascinating little detail of his inability to do anything. This is why Stanley and I are on such good terms.
Such a dick. What?
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I'm gonna walk downstairs. Let's see what. Okay.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went?
Yeah.
And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming!
Yeah.
This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. He thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Oh, there we go.
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared.
Wow.
It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up.
Okay.
How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking?
Yeah.
Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up.
Oh.
He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment and my wife and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
I am still in the same spot.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I?
Going crazy right now.
Everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
What?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed,
What
gathered
is
her
Stanley?
belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy, this much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't.
Oh my God.
It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Alright, that is it of that one. Hope you enjoyed it. So if you liked it, subscribe to it. Do whatever you can to help me out. That'd be great. Please comment. That's my biggest thing, is always commenting. Reading comments would be a blast for me. But yeah, I might do more. I want to do a live stream of this. I think live stream would be amazing for this. But yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna continue, but cutting it off now. So, name's Blue, and I'm signing off.